Okay, so I was in a toxic relationship and I knew it was toxic, but I didn't know it would turn like scary until this one night. Story time. So my boyfriend lived in the middle of nowhere, Canada, in a cabin in like the woods, which should have been my first red flag, but it wasn't. So I was staying with him in May, and one night he wanted to go to bed and I wanted to stay on the couch and watch TV. So he goes to his room, and then like 20 minutes later, I hear him yelling and throwing things around in his room. And I was like, oh my God, what's wrong? When I saw him, it was the weirdest look in his eyes. It was like my boyfriend was gone and he was possessed by this angry monster guy. He was like, why don't you want to come to bed with me? Why don't you care about me? You're so cold all the time. You don't even love me. And I was like, what? Like, I really had no idea what I had done that triggered this, because he did have anger issues and he would get mad at me a lot, but usually I could like figure out why he was mad. And this time I was shocked. So I was like, I don't know, what's wrong though? And he picks up my suitcase and he throws it across the room and he's like, it's just you, you're so cold, you're gonna move to LA, never talk to me again. So it was around 1 a.m. at this point, and he was picking up my suitcase and pushing it around the room and saying that he wanted to take me to the airport and drop me off there because I was gonna leave him anyway. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's totally fine. Please take me to the airport. And at that point, I knew being in like a public place was safer than being alone in this cabin with him. So I picked up whatever I saw like that I could find of my clothes that he had thrown, put them in my suitcase, and then I let him put me in his car. And then he starts, oh my God, it was the middle of the night and he couldn't see anything on the road, and he was speeding and swerving around in the lanes and playing like the weirdest sad music and crying and yelling while he was driving. So at this point, I didn't know if I was gonna make it. Like, I didn't know what he wanted to do in the car, like, because he was acting so irrational. So I decided to text my roommate, and I told her his car info and like the license plate and where I was. And I grabbed the handle and I was like, I guess I looked too scared, and he saw me texting my roommate and he was like, oh my God, you're telling your friends that I'm abusive, aren't you? Like, you're gonna tell them I'm abusive. And I was like, no, I'm not, I promise, I won't tell anyone, I won't tell my family, I won't tell anyone. And then he does a huge U-turn. So he does a U-turn in the middle of the road, and he takes me back to his house and he told me to get in his room and like stay in his bed. That way I couldn't tell my family that he left me at the airport or something. And that was the most terrifying night of my entire, I literally stared at the ceiling the entire time because I heard him pacing outside of his door. And I locked it, but I didn't know if he was gonna come in at any moment and what he was gonna do to me. This might be TMI, but I had to pee really bad and I couldn't use the bathroom though because he was outside of his door and I was scared of him. So I held it all night long and I didn't sleep. And then in the morning I had a UTI, and he had to take me to the doctor, and he said he loved me enough to make sure that my health was okay, even though I was so cold to him. So yeah.
My boyfriend has been cheating on me for 2 years, and this is how I found out. For all the girls that pride themselves like I did on not going through their boyfriend's phones, this is for you. I've been with my boyfriend for 8 years, and for those 8 years I've never gone through his phone, and it's something that I've been, very adamant about. However, if I had gone through his phone, I wouldn't have lost 2 years of my life. Actually 8, because it's the whole relationship, but 2 because I found out that he's been cheating on me for 2 years. It really is that damn phone, because I found this out in the weirdest way. So my boyfriend bought a new phone and he lost all of his contacts. So he asked me to text him so that he could save my phone number, so I did. So we're driving to my house and I text him, hey sexy, what's up? He responds. I thought that this was weird, but like sometimes he's into weird shit. He actually texts and drives, but he texts saying, hey, can't talk right now. And I thought, okay, like he's just kidding. Hey, can't talk right now, I'll text you in 5. That's what he says, and I interpret it as a joke, because how can it not be a joke? As soon as we get home, he immediately runs to the bathroom and my phone lights up. He's texting me saying, so hey, what's up? So I reply, not much. You? He says, super horny. Want to meet up tonight? And I replied to him again. At this point, like, we've been together for 8 years, so I was like, there's no way this guy is actually cheating on me. And it never crossed my mind. Like I said, I trusted this guy. So I just thought, he was being funny. And I was like, why later? Why not right now? I'm horny too. And he responds, okay, we'll try to make it ASAP. Cool? Okay, cool. Then he comes out of the bathroom moments later, and I'm like prepared to be like, what is up with this? Like, are you for real? Do you want to like go to bed or something? Before I have time to say whatever, he immediately goes, hey, so I'm not feeling so good. I think I'm gonna head home. And this is where my jaw drops. He goes, oh, and by the way, can you actually text me so I can save your phone number? You haven't texted me yet. Who are you texting in the bathroom? I turned to him and I'm like, you're kidding, right? You have to be kidding me. Like, you cannot be for real. Like, who were you texting in the bathroom then if it wasn't me? He just says, oh, shit. He came clean about everything. I didn't really have to try that hard. He just told me he's been with someone else for 2 years. I don't know which one of you I like more. That's why I never said anything. She doesn't know either. I'm like, what the fuck? He looked and sounded like a robot, and I couldn't really believe it. And he still says, like, I don't know which one of you I like more. Oh, but yeah, go through your boyfriend's phones. Go through your boyfriend's phones. I'm telling you right now, go. This is your sign. Because I was stupid. I didn't, and I regret it, because like I said, this would have saved me years of my life. So, yeah.
Okay, so I'm freaking pissed. So fun little story time, here we go. So my boyfriend of 8 months, almost a year, and we've known each other for a year now, straight up ghosted me. We had a really loving relationship. It was really affectionate, really vulnerable. We told each other how much we loved each other every single day. We were best friends, like, especially before we started dating, we were friends. And he told me all the time, like, how much he wanted to marry me one day, how amazing I am, how I'm the most beautiful girl that he's ever seen. Okay, so I invite him on my family vacation. Mind you, I haven't been on a full family vacation since, like, way long ago. Not just, like, an immediate family vacation, like, uncles, grandparents, cousins. So we spend, like, almost 2 weeks in Hawaii together. All paid for, by the way. He didn't pay for any of it, which was fine because, like, we were treating him and, like, that's what we do. So we get back from vacation together. By the way, he said it was the best vacation he's ever been on in his life and that he wants to, like, move to Hawaii and he loves it. And we spend, like, 3 days together since coming back to LA where I live. We have a really fun 3 days, good time. So I leave his house and we're texting. So he goes and applies for this job interview. I'm asking him how it's going and all this stuff. He's texting me, whatever. And then the rest of the night, he just, like, stops texting me. And I'm just like, okay, like, he's just with his friends or something, like, whatever. And then the next day rolls around. I still haven't heard anything. I'm like, what the fuck? Mind you, too, he texts me all the time. Like, that's the precedent that he set in the beginning of our relationship. We talk all the time. 2 more days go by. Nothing. Obviously, I'm texting him this whole time being like, hey, you good? I had to literally DM his brother to see if he was alive. I have anxiety, okay? I thought this man's was, like, dead in a ditch somewhere. I was freaking out. His brother's like, oh, yeah, no, he's cool. Like, the last time he spoke, like, weeks ago, he said you guys are great and happy and this and that. So I'm like, okay, cool. After, like, my 4th text to him or something, he responds with, like, a long-ass paragraph. He sent this long-ass thing, like, explaining himself. And he was like, oh, my God, you don't deserve any of this. I love you. Like, I've been going through things, but you don't deserve this at all. Like, I'm so sorry. So we're in the middle of this conversation, right? And then he just ghosts me again. Full-on ghost. His snap score is going up. Obviously, I'm checking. Like, the fuck? And I know he's, like, playing poker with his friends. And he, like, went to a basketball game today. So, yeah, I'm honestly at a loss because I literally never would have seen this coming from him. And as shitty as he sounds right now, I know for a fact he didn't cheat on me because he's just, like, not that type. Like, I promise y'all. But, yeah, shit makes no sense, and I'm pissed. So, I'm either going to break up with him or I'll update you guys. If this has happened to you, I'm so sorry. This shit sucks. I'll post a part 2 so you guys know what's going on.
Story time about the time I walked in on him with another girl and literally took a video of it. This had happened freshman year. I'm a senior now, and I'm in a very healthy relationship now. So like I said, this was 3 years ago, and it was this guy's birthday. And for his birthday, he had a bunch of people from his high school right down the road come to his apartment and, like, pregame with us before we went to another party. Also, my best friend was in town, so she was visiting. And for his birthday, I had got him this chain. Keep this in your mind. So the night rolls around, and we're all at his apartment pre-gaming, and all of his, like, high school friends show up. First red flag is that literally nobody said hi. Keep in mind, these people are still in high school. Second red flag is when we were playing, like, beer pong, I literally had slipped and, like, fell on my back, and one of the girls was like, blah, 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 get your girl, talking about me, and he did not help me off the ground. 2 of his other friends helped me off the ground, and we were, like, laughing about it, but, like, what do you mean, well, get your girl? Like, and he didn't even help me up. The third red flag is that when me and all my friends were, like, in the living room, him and all these, like, high school girls were in his room taking shots out of, like, our alcohol bottles. So we were like, no, absolutely not. And we put our alcohol bottles in the closet. Keep that in mind, too. So the pregame's about over, and we walk, like, a neighborhood over to this, like, party that this guy was having. And there was, like, a ton of us, and we're all walking, and I noticed, like, him and this another girl just, like, talking, like, behind everybody. They're, like, way back, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna think anything of it because it's his high school friends. He probably hasn't seen them in a while, and why would I need to overthink? So we're in this party, and there's, like, a downstairs and an upstairs, and one of my friends was like, Megan, I just saw go upstairs with this girl, like, you want me to go check on them? Like, that was, like, 10 minutes ago, and I was like, sure, like, I don't care. And so she, like, went up there, and she came back down, and she was like, he had his arm around her, and I was like, you know what, like, I don't care. I really don't care. So the night was getting pretty late, and I remember he had, like, Snapchatted me or something. I was like, hey, like, we're all going back to my apartment, like, we're just, like, tired or whatever. And then time rolls around, and it's, like, actually time to, like, go, you know? So we walk back to his apartment, and it's, like, me and, like, 4 other of my girlfriends. And I remember he, like, wasn't answering my Snapchat, so I was like, I feel like we're, like, about to walk in on something. Like, I just have, like, a gut feeling something's not right. When we get back to his apartment, we open, like, his, like, main door to his apartment, and these girls just, like, start, like, giggling. They're like, and they're like, oh, gosh. And I, like, turn my head, and in my head, I'm like, oh, gosh, what? then like me and my 4 girlfriends like go over to his room door, and it's locked. So then my friend Tatum's whispering, and she's like, Megan, like, I'm gonna knock, pretend you're not here, like, don't say anything. So she knocks, and she's like, blah blah blah, like his name. She was like, I'm just here to get my alcohol, like, I'm going back to Megan's dorm. And he's like, 1 second. Now it's been like 2 minutes, and he still's not open the door. And she's like, open up, like banging on it and yelling at him. And he's like, hold on, and like opens it. And this is where I like blacked out, like barely remember what went down. We walk in, and Tatum opens the closet to get her alcohol off the top shelf. And what do we see? A little rat hiding in the closet. And my first instinct, I don't know, I've never walked in on something like that. My first instinct was to literally take a video. So I pulled my phone out of my back pocket. I opened Snapchat, and I took a video. I took a video of her hiding in the closet, and then I took a video of him like laying on his bed. And then I like ran out. And I ran into his roommate's room, and I was just like crying because I was like, what the heck did I just walk into? And I literally hear my best friend in the other room like screaming at him. And then in my head, I'm like, oh my gosh, what about the chain? I just got him today. I was like, Tatum, please go get it for me. I'm like returning it. So she literally goes back in his room and is like, give me the chain. And he's like, what chain? And this like high school girl is still just like sitting in his room, and he's like, what chain? Like pretending I didn't get him a chain that morning. And she was like, the one on your neck. And he's like so freaked out and scared, he's shaking. He can't get it off. So he goes, Tatum, can you help me get it off? So then I run to my other guy friend's apartment where like everybody would hang out at. And I did not go back to my dorm because I had my best friend there. My brother was in town. My brother's friend was in town. And then my roommate, obviously, in a little dorm. So I was like, I'm just going to sleep on my friend's couch and like go back to my dorm in the morning. And then I woke up on their couch the next morning to someone standing over me while I'm sleeping going, Megan, Megan. And I wake up and it's him, and I was like, what are you doing in here? And I was like, don't talk to me, don't talk to me. And he was like, so what he says, can I get you Andy's and we can talk it out? Sir, it is 9 in the morning. We're gonna go to Andy's and you're gonna talk about how I just walked in on you with another girl? No. So yeah, that is like the story of the time I walked in on him with another girl and took a video of it. And oh my gosh, he got like messed up on campus by all my friends. My friends would roll the windows down and like scream at him, and he'd be like talking to like other girls on campus or as like friends, and they'd be like, screw you, like screaming at him through the window. Or like my whole sorority like posted on Yik Yak or something. I can't really remember. I have a bunch of screenshots, but yeah, so that's literally the time I took a video of it. Obviously it doesn't faze me anymore because I'm in a new relationship at this point. It's hilarious, like so funny, and I had to share it because I want y'all to hear. Should I post the video? Bye.
Story time of how my ex-boyfriend was actually texting my nail tech behind my back. So at this point, I'm ready to talk about this because I haven't had a story time, and I feel like this is a good story to tell, and I'm no longer embarrassed even after I went back to him several times after that. But anyways, down to the story time. So my ex-boyfriend and I had a very complicated relationship. Like, we were together for 5 years, and it was really, really difficult for me because he was constantly cheating on me. Anyways, it was a while ago, so my memory's a little bit scrambled, but we had been dating for a while, and we had broken up, and then we were still kind of getting together or whatever. We're thinking, we talked things over, and we said that we're gonna work on things, and we're gonna hopefully like get our relationship back to what it was. I don't even want to tell this story because of how embarrassing it is and how much I let myself be manipulated. But anyways, so this was, I think we came home from somewhere, and my mom had just got a new basketball court or something, and I had told him like, hey, can you help me put it together because I would love to have a basketball court and have it done for my mom because I don't want her to do it by herself. He's like, okay, cool, I'll help you, whatever. And so as I was helping him, the bottom of the basketball courts have like little wheels so you can roll them wherever you want to put them, whatever. Okay, so we had to put on the wheels, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to do this, like, can you just do it? I'll hold the flashlight. Tell me why this is so funny. Tell me why I was like holding the flashlight. Boom, text message from Snapchat. Snapchat, out of all things, is crazy to me. But a notification from Snapchat, and guess whose name it was? And I'm going to say her name because I feel like that's wild. Her name was Jackie, and I went to school with her. She was my nail tech, and she was a really good friend of mine. Like, we were really, really good friends in high school. And I would bring him to my nail appointments. So they knew each other. She knew who she was talking to. So anyways, I literally went ballistic, obviously, because who wouldn't? Like, if your boyfriend was texting your nail tech, like, that's crazy. Anyways, I was like, oh, what the heck? Like, going off on him, basically, the normal, whatever. And he was like, oh, it's not her. Like, it's not her. Stop thinking that it's her. And I was like, okay, bet. Let me go through your phone and let me text her and see her. I had her on Snapchat, and keep in mind, I was posting pictures of this man. I was literally posting pictures because I thought we were still working on things. So I was like, we're basically still dating.
I was posting pictures of this man. I followed her on Snapchat too, and she was texting my man behind my back. That's crazy. Anyways, so I went to her Snap and I saw her name, and lo and behold, same freaking name. And I was like, okay, well, obviously it's her. And so I texted her and I was like, that's crazy. This is Pam. I can't believe you're texting him. Like, that's insane. The fact that I would bring him to my appointments and everything. And I'm very much like always on the girl side, because I always like to like have the benefit of the doubt and think like girls are not going to do that to me. But this girl knew me very well. This girl was a close friend of mine. This girl I had talked to several times. This girl, she was just learning how to do nails, and I would go get my nails done by her. I really, really was good friends with her. And it was just I think it was more the betrayal and the fact that he was telling me that it wasn't her and trying to convince me and gaslight me that it wasn't her. Anyways, she texted back and she's like, oh, I'm not with this little kid games. Like, keep me out of this and that. Like, girl, what are you talking about? Keep me out of this, girl. You literally, how are you going to, you got yourself involved in this situation. Like, this is crazy. Keep in mind, I knew her boyfriend, and I think they had just broken up like a week prior. And that's just like crazy. I knew every time we would go to my appointments, obviously girls like to gossip, and we would talk about our boyfriends. I would tell her stories about my boyfriend. She would tell me stories about her boyfriend, vice versa, whatever. The fact that she knew who he was and then was texting him and saw my stories, saw all my posts and everything. This is so crazy. Like, this is so beyond crazy. I used to have class with this girl. We used to be really close friends. I don't know. It was just more the betrayal. And then a few years later, I saw this girl at Marshall's. This little side quest. I used to work at Marshall's because I just decided to randomly work at Marshall's. But little side quest, I started working at Marshall's, and one day she comes in with her mom. Second she saw me, I know her heart dropped to her. I know her heart dropped. You know why? Because she literally went and put on her hood and like was walking like this whole time. I didn't say anything just because I'm going to keep it professional and I'm not going to be acting ratchet out in public. But, oh, you best believe I was so mad. It just like, honestly, I don't even care about the guy. It's just the fact that, girl, you were my nail tech and I was literally gossiping about my man and this and that back and forth. And then you go like text him? That's crazy. And then be like, this is little kid stuff. Like, I don't want to get involved in this. What? I know you're not trying to gaslight me too into thinking that I'm fucking crazy when you're the one who was texting my man behind my back. Ooh, that girl is not a girl's girl. And she's lucky I didn't report her to the board because she didn't even have a license. So, but anyways, that was my story time. After that, I still went back to him several times. So whatever. But yeah, Jackie, if you're watching this, I don't like you and I will never like you. And you don't deserve anything.
So my divorce settlement is coming to a close, so I can finally tell the story. So the last time that my ex had ever cheated on me, it was after he'd already cheated on me. He'd come back begging, like, I love you, please be with me. And I gave him another chance, stupidly. But after his initial affair with this woman, this happened like 8 months later. It was like around Christmas. So he works interstate, so we're in constant communication. But one night he was being really weird. Like, he wouldn't answer my phone calls, he wouldn't answer my messages. He kept saying he was going in and out of range. By this point, I'd already been cheated on, so I was super suspicious of him. Anyway, after a few hours of this, me trying to call him, I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, I'll call you later, I'll call back. I'm like, you need to call me now, you need to message me now. And he's still not responding to me. And the idiot, this is how stupid he is. So we're a family, right? So we have all of our iPhones, all of our technology set up to the Find My iPhone system, like the family one. And I don't usually check it because I'm way too traumatized. On this night, I'm like, no, I need answers. Like, something is not right. So I jump on Find My iPhone. He's away for work, right? So he's meant to be on site on his campsite. He's not on his campsite. He's in this little small country town that is a couple of hours away from his campsite. There is no reason that he should be in this small country town. There is nothing there. There's like a pub and there is his mistress's house. So I get this address up and I'm like, I know that you're not at work. And he's like, I am at work. I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, I'm just doing a run. I have to pick up some parts. I'm like, nah, I know something's up. So I get one of my work friends. I'm like, call her. And we're both trying to call them at the same time. My friend's calling her, I'm calling him, and they're both hanging up at the exact same time. And at this point, I'm like, do I tell him that I've tracked him? Because then, like, that's just showing my cards. Like, he's going to turn off Find My iPhone. I won't be able to find him. But I'm like, nah, I have to tell him. I'm like, I know that you are in this place. Like, I've checked Find My iPhone, and he's like losing it. He's like, you have me under surveillance. I can't believe this. You're so insecure. I can't deal with your anxiety. Like, have you forgotten me? And then both their phones go off at the exact same time. And I'm at work. I'm meant to be at work. I'm meant to be working. Instead, I'm like having an emotional breakdown. I'm upstairs in the staff room. I'm just like, nah, I need evidence. I get this address that I got on Find My iPhone, and then I get up Google Maps. I look on Google Maps, I look at this address, I screenshot the front of the street views of the front of the house, and then I go on realestate.com, which has pictures of the inside of the house from the last time it was sold. So I screenshot those also. Then, because I know the girl, because it's the girl he cheated on me with the last time, I go on her Instagram. But then I'm comparing these screenshots. I'm looking for distinctive parts of the house that will show that it is the exact same house that it is on the address that I found on Find My iPhone. But both their phones are off, right? So I don't have any communication with either of them. So I'm just sat up there for like hours matching and cross-referencing these photos. Straight off the bat, I find two very distinct things. So the wallpaper is the same. It matches. And there's a fireplace. There's a fireplace that has like the little thing that's stuck to the roof, and that also matches. So I know in my head that this is the same house. So I screenshot this evidence. Go to part 2. So I've now got these images, and I'm acting like a crazy person. Like, even my friends from work, they're just like, no, it's not the same, babe. It's not the same. I'm just like, oh my god, maybe it's not. Anyway, my friend takes me home. I stay at her house that night because I'm absolutely distraught. I cannot drive home. So I sleep at her house. Then in the morning, I get text from him like, oh my god, baby, I'm so sorry. I promise I wasn't there. It's not what you think. I feel really bad. This makes me not want to work away anymore. All the right things, like fully sucking up to me. Of course, I bought into all of it, and I was still a bit unsure, but I wanted to believe him. Also, my friends were like, babe, I think that you're just overreacting. Like, I don't actually think that those things match from the pictures. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'll give him the benefit of flipped out. But still, I asked my friend, I'm like, can you just message her, the other woman, and ask if she was with him on Saturday night? My friend messages her and she messaged back and she's like, no, I wasn't. I haven't spoken to him in X amount of months. Like, he absolutely wasn't with me. Can you just leave me alone? And I'm just like, okay, that's all I need. Because obviously she's the one that contacted me before when they were having an affair, like apologizing to me, saying I'm not a homewrecker, like I didn't know that he was married. So of course I thought she would tell me the truth this time. Anyway, I want to believe him. So I delete all these screenshots. I just get on with it. I just write it off as me being like hyper anxious because I've been cheated on before. Like, it's just trauma. It's just a trauma response. Anyway, almost a year later, he's just being off. Something feels weird. And then I just get this intuition to re-look into this whole situation. So I get the address back up because I saved it. And then I look at the front of the house. I just take pictures of all the surrounding areas from the front of the house and the side of the house. Then I go over to Instagram and I just screenshot any of the recent pictures that she's uploaded that I can compare between the two. There's this picture, and in the picture, there's this very distinct trellis. It's like a green and a white trellis. Her grandma's sat at the front beside this trellis, and there's a very distinct back gate. And I'm like, I've seen this before. So I go back to Google Maps and I turn it around to the side of the street view. And there it is. It is the exact same trellis. It is the exact same side gate. There is no other explanation. There is no getting out of this. So I'm just like, oh, this dirty dog. And I'm not going to confront him because at this point, it's like, he is a lie. He's not going to tell me the truth. And I know she's a lie too, but I figured it's been a few months. There's a lot more chance that she's going to tell me the truth than he is. So I messaged her and I'm like, look, I don't have anything against you. I just want the truth. Was so-and-so at your house last December? She messaged me back almost immediately. She's like, hi, Lauren. Yeah, I'm really sorry, but I was with him that last December. I was like, oh my God, I was right the whole time. That whole time, it was the same wallpaper. It was the same fireplace. I just gaslit myself into believing that he's not a lying, dirty dog. And as for her, like, why can't you apologize to me the first time for sleeping with my husband? You're just gonna go do it again. And that's not even the worst part. This is the worst part. Right while he was doing this, on the night that he did this, it was literally 3 days after he knew that one of my close friends had died of breast cancer. Like, what? What is wrong with you?
If you really pay attention, you will realize that men tell on themselves all the time. This is how I found out I was getting cheated on. I was in a long distance relationship with this guy who was my boyfriend at the time, definitely an ex now. And we planned to go on a cruise together, so we flew out separately from our cities. But he wound up missing his flight because he bleached his hair to a crisp, like it was breaking off. Luckily, he made his flight the next day and we were able to board our cruise. The cruise was so much fun. I was so sad when the cruise was over, but of course, all good things come to an end, and we had to get back to reality and fly back home to our respective states. I spent my entire flight looking through all of our pictures we took together, and I was just really sad to be going home without him. As we were descending, I got a shitload of texts from him, and I instantly knew that something was off. He was basically freaking out, saying that some crazy girl was going to DM me and make all these claims, but none of them are true. And at this point, Instagram was that girl, and I was getting hundreds of messages a day. My Wi-Fi kept on cutting in and out while I was searching for this DM, but I finally found it. The girl was basically saying that she had been seeing my ex and that they were just together, and as a matter of fact, he asked her to pick him up from the airport that evening. She said that she turned him down because she found out about me and that he had a girlfriend. But I was really skeptical of her claims because my ex had a tendency to post everything like as he was doing it, so everybody knew his business. Of course, I DM'd her back asking for proof, and she sent me screenshots and a bunch of other things, but of course I was still in denial because I really wanted to believe my man over a stranger. My ex was so embarrassed that he fried his hair. That was the one thing that he did not put on social media. Like, he didn't want anybody to know. So when she mentioned that she was with him the day he missed his flight, helping him with his hair and putting coconut oil in it, I knew that she was telling the truth. This man came in the morning of our cruise reeking like coconut oil, and I even asked him, like, how do you know about coconut oil? And he was like, oh, my barber told me to use it. And I swear to you, I would have never seen that DM if he did not tell me about it. He was trying to get ahead of the game, but instead he played himself in the worst way possible. But there is so much more to the story, so let me know if you want a part 2. Moral of the story is, when men tell on themselves, believe them the first time.